5.3 FM.
Hi, my name is Bob Roth, and I'm your host of Health Futures Taking Stock in You. Today is going to be a tribute show, and it's a great time for us to pay tribute to veterans, to work, to protect our freedom and this great country, and a pretty busy studio here with lots of guests. So tune in, Health Futures, Money Radio, 1510 a.m.
The views expressed on the following program do not necessarily reflect the views of Money Radio staff, management, or advertisers, and do not represent an offer to buy or sell any securities. Some interviews heard on this program may be sponsored by the participants. It's time for Health Futures with Cypress HomeCare Solutions, Bob Roth. This is Arizona's only show dedicated to providing you with expert advice on how to live a longer, healthier, and happier life. To learn more, call 602-264-8009. That's 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Bob Roth.
Oh, but ain't that America for you and me? Ain't that America something to see, baby? Ain't that America home of the free, yeah.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Health Futures. I'm your host, Bob Roth, and it is November 11th, Veterans Day, and it's a great time for us to pay tribute to those veterans that have given up their lives to work to protect our freedom and this great country. And not to be confused with Memorial Day, these are people that are still alive. Some are still alive, some have since passed, but we honor them for protecting our freedom and protecting our rights and protecting this great country that we live in called America. I want to introduce our guest today, and if you're just tuning in, Health Futures is a show about how our older adult population can live a healthier, happier life, and we're able to do that by bringing extraordinary guests to our show, and we talk about some of the challenges and issues that our older adults deal with day in and day out. Today is a fun-filled, packed day. I've got more guests in the studio than I probably have ever had. And I want to talk about the guests that are lining up here today. First, in the first two segments, I have got two gentlemen from the Arizona Department of Health Services. I've got Wayne Tormala, and he's the chief. And welcome to the show, Wayne.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Happy to be here.
Good to have you here. And I've also got Chris Minnick. He's the marketing director for Arizona Department of Health Services. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us on, Bob. And
I'm glad to have you. And just want to tell our listeners, on our third segment, after the half hour, we're going to have Jenny Quezada, and she's with the Cancer Support Community Arizona. And on our fourth segment, we're going to have Dan Lawler. He's the executive director of the Alzheimer's Association, and we're going to talk about this great walk that is happening tomorrow morning, and it's going to happen in the city of Phoenix, and it's going to happen at Wesley Bolin Plaza. So why do I have the Department of Health Services here today? Well, I've got them here in the studio today because we want to talk about this new Quit to Win campaign. It's Arizona Smokers Awareness Week, or Quit Awareness Week, and first of all, I think it's a great campaign. We have a lot of older adults that still smoke. And even though we do such a great job of getting the message out there, we need to do more. And I want to turn it over to you, Wayne, and really talk about this campaign and talk about what the Arizona Department of Health Services is looking to do with it.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. Well, let me start by saying just in the last couple of months, we've really hit a grand slam in Arizona when it comes to tobacco control. We live and die by the data that's provided by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on what's the status of tobacco use in Arizona. And what we know now is that the latest figures show that as of through the year 2015, when asked, have you tried tobacco in the last 30 days, only 14% of Arizonans say they have. That's an all-time unprecedented low. And the last 5 years, and owing in large part to our aggressive marketing we do out there and public awareness around tobacco use, and based on the census reports and tobacco prevalence, over 200,000 Arizonans have quit smoking in the last 5 years. So we feel really good about that.
Wow.
Very conservatively, that creates about 2 million additional years of life, about 10 years on the low end per smoker in terms of life expectancy, oftentimes as high as 30 years less. So we feel really good about that, but we also have unprecedented lows among youth in using tobacco. We're about 10%, where 10% of teenagers will say they've tried tobacco, and that's down from 14% just 2 years ago. So what all these numbers mean for us is that we're trending the way we want to trend. We know that tobacco is still the leading cause of death across the nation in Arizona, so when you can get people to smoke less or to quit smoking totally, you're creating years of life. And for older Americans and people in Arizona, that means more years as a grandparent. It means more years on the job and feeling productive with your life. And the adage of we just don't want to add years to the life. We want to add life to your years. And so as we get older, especially the boomer population that we know is this big silver tsunami that's going through our census reports, that if we can add years of quality living for people, and largely through reduction of smoking, then we feel like we've hit success. Now our campaign, Quit to Win, we feel like, our goal is by 2020 to have the lowest tobacco rate in the United States. Right now we're about in the top 5, just about a tenth of a point behind California. So we're surging. We're trying to catch Utah. That's the ultimate goal, and that means we have single-digit numbers in terms of percent of smokers. But how we're going to achieve that is through these great campaigns, and probably invite Chris here. He's the master campaigner for our state. But the Quit to Win is a really unique approach we've never used before, involving sports celebrities, their philosophies on coaching, and how that matches up with the coaching philosophies of the Arizona Smokers Helpline when people call the helpline.
Wayne, you talk about top 5, but top 5 in the category of least smokers, right?
Yeah.
Not top 5 in the most. I just want to make
sure we have among the lowest smoking rates in the country right now. So we're probably in the top 5. The CDC hasn't released the official list yet, but if the other states are staying fairly steady as they were just a year ago, then we could be number 3 right now.
And I want to ask you about metrics before we talk about the marketing campaign.
Sure.
Is vapor.
Yep.
What has that done to smoking? I mean, I was always under the impression that the vapor tobacco was expanding that category. It sounds like we've done a pretty good job of keeping a
Well, we
lid
know
on that.
Vape use among youth is on the rise, and so that could help explain why tobacco use is declining.
Okay.
So technically, we don't define electronic cigarettes or vaping mechanisms as tobacco, although the FDA is they have these what they call deeming regulations, and they're getting tighter on that. That's going to take effect in a couple of years. We know that vape is on the rise among youth,
Sure.
And we also know that when talking to focus groups of kids around vaping, that oftentimes youth consider it just to be water vapor, and don't realize there can be heavy doses of nicotine, and the fact that they've been unregulated, you're not quite sure what you're inhaling into your lungs.
Got it.
And some have been studied. They found carcinogens and various toxins in some of those. So regulating that's good, because then we'll know exactly what you're doing. Vape use is illegal in Arizona for under 18 years of age. Illegal to sell, illegal to use. So it is a concern, and certainly the vape industry feels very strongly about their right to sell those products.
No, that's interesting, and I appreciate you taking the time to share that with us. I know that we're getting ready to take a break, and I want to turn the mic over to Chris. And Chris, I would love for you to just share with us a little bit about the Quit to Win campaign and maybe some of the sports teams that you've got lined up. And then when we come back to the second segment, we'll dive into it deeper.
Sure. The Quit to Win campaign, that includes that's 1 week. Next week is Quit to Win week in Arizona. We've got more than 20 community partners that have come together to pledge that they're going to do smoking cessation in their organization. So you'll see Mercy Maricopa, Honor Health. They've got access to a lot of employees that will be getting these messages. The goal with the campaign is to put it all under one roof. And we can talk about the campaign, the coaches part of it. We're calling it Coaches on Coaching. This is going to be an 18-month campaign that we're going to do. We reached out to several of the sports teams, and we feel like we've got a great set of people who are going to help us move this tobacco needle.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love the outreach. I love the name, Quit to Win campaign. I mean, you guys have done a great job. You should feel really good about it. You're listening to Health Futures, taking stock in you. We're up against a break. We're here with the Arizona Department of Health Services. I got Wayne Tormala, and I've got Chris Minnick here in the studio. We'll be right back.
The money talk you love, still on 1510 AM and 105.3 FM.
Hey, Money Radio listeners, this is Gary Kalbaum. Make sure you tune in for my show, Investor's Edge. You'll get my take on the markets and the world and what to look out for tomorrow. Investor's Edge is one of Money Radio's longest-running shows, so don't miss it.
You can listen to Investor's Edge Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. here on Money Radio 1510 AM and 105.3 FM.
We've all heard stories about the teacher or mailman next door who retired with millions in the bank and the life they've always wanted. We've all asked ourselves, how did they do it? Hi, Carl Lamar for Financially Fit. I'm here to tell you it's not only possible, it's more common than you think. I'm not talking about a get-rich-quick scheme or some magic pill you take 2 of and boom, you're wealthy. Quite the opposite. I'm talking about a way to achieve financial security on an average income with a plan that works. How do I know it works? Because Steve Down, the founder of Financially Fit, followed it to his financial freedom, and he's helped thousands of people do the same. Go to financiallyfit.com and find out how to be completely debt-free in 5 years. Yes, 5 years. Get your free Financially Fit checkup report today at financiallyfit.com or call them at 888-7-WAKE-UP. There is no gimmick, no catch, and no question that with their plan, you can become financially fit and debt-free in 5 years. Call now and find out how.
Never enter or swim in the canal. SRP reminds you to be safe around water. For more tips, visit srpnet.com/safety, srpnet.com/safety.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress HomeCare Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. You're listening to Health Futures. I'm your host, Bob Roth. And it is November 11th. It is Veterans Day. We're coming at you live from the Scottsdale Air Park, right here from the Money Radio studios. And I've got in the studio with me, I've got Wayne Tormala. He's the chief over the Arizona Department of Health Services. And I've got Chris Minnick, the marketing director for Arizona Department of Health Services. And we're talking about this great new campaign. It's called Quit to Win. And in our last segment, we talked a little bit about statistical data that our chief, Wayne, shared with us, and it is amazing the progress that we've made here, Wayne. I mean, we have made some huge progress, and, the numbers are going down, which is phenomenal, and less people are smoking, especially kids. But we got this great campaign that Chris was talking to us about, and I want you to take over the mic, Chris, and tell us a little bit more, because where we left off, you talked about a lot of the organizations here in our community that are really getting behind this, and I would like you to build a little bit more on that.
Sure. What I was talking about in the Quit to Win is we have 20 plus community partners that are coming together for this Quit to Win week. And when I explain the campaign, you'll understand where that name came from. The campaign that we're running that will start actually on Monday, and this is the first time, so you're getting an exclusive on this, Bob. This is the first time we've done any kind of promotion on this campaign. We kept it real embargoed because we think we've got a really winning campaign. The goal of the campaign, we're calling it Coaches for Coaching, is to get people to pick up the phone and call the ASH line. That's the Arizona Smokers Helpline, where you can get one-on-one coaching from somebody who really understands what you're going through. It's a homegrown helpline. A lot of the folks are former smokers. They have been there for a number of years, and what they provide is coaching. So when we thought...
Let's give out the number if you can.
So 1-800-5566-222 is the ASH line number. Anybody can call for free. and you can get up to 4 weeks free of nicotine replacement therapy. So it's a great service in Arizona.
Nice. And there's a website too, ashline.org.
Ashline.org.
Okay.
So those are the resources that we're promoting. When we thought about how are we going to do a new campaign, we thought the Ashline coaches are coaches. People don't really understand that they're really homegrown people, and that coaching is really something that helps you get through this. So we reached out to some of our sports teams, and we thought, pie in the sky, we'll get maybe one or two coaches to join us and to talk about us and to cut PSAs that will promote what they do as a coach to help somebody achieve their goals and how that can translate to somebody quitting smoking. So we reached out to a bunch of teams, and what we ended up with is we got Todd Graham from ASU football, Dave Tippett from the Arizona Coyotes, Earl Watson, the new coach of the Suns, Sandy Brondello from the Mercury. We've also got Frank Gallup of the Arizona United, and we've also got Lute Olson from ASU basketball. So we were able to bring all of them together, do individual PSAs with them. And what we did is we didn't give them any scripts. Oh, I forgot to mention another legend in Arizona, and that's Tony La Russa, who's with the Diamondbacks.
Nice.
And obviously a Hall of Fame baseball player. He's in the Hall of Fame for his managing skills with World Series wins with the Cardinals. So he's a great asset, as is Lute Olson, as is all of our other coaches.
The other Cardinals.
The other Cardinals.
But I do want to say, if Joe Garagiola was alive, he probably would have been behind this too, because he was an anti-tobacco guy.
Yeah, so we saw all of these coaches really get behind this, and we had one scripted line. We wanted to do interviews. We asked them about their coaching philosophies, how they achieve somebody help somebody achieve their goals when they fail. All of these different things that a coach will do. And we had one scripted line, and the line is, "This is one time where I love a good quitter." So a coach is not ever going to want you to quit. We had that one scripted line.
I like that.
We had all of the coaches say it, and Tony La Russa is the one who nailed it. So at the end of the PSA that we'll see later on, we're going to have them live on our website next week. All of the coaches really, really nailed it. And Earl Watson kind of took his own take on it, and his take was, this is the one time you win by quitting. So we thought we've got a golden campaign here for our partners, and we're not going to call it Smoking Cessation Week. We're really going to roll it out with Quit to Win Week, because that's really what you're doing, is you're getting a big win in your life when you quit.
I love it. I absolutely love that. Fantastic. First time you've ever done anything like this?
Sure. Yeah, this is the first time we've gone in this direction with the marketing campaign, and such a big integrated marketing campaign where we bring the community and the personalities together. We do a new marketing campaign about every 18 months. You've got to keep the marketing campaigns fresh. You've got to keep them in the eyes. And Wayne was talking about, at 14% of a prevalence rate in Arizona, there's no more low-hanging fruit. People are smoking are tougher to reach, so we have to be a little more aggressive with our marketing and look at a broader scope of what we're going to do. Our last campaign, we had a series of 3 commercials. It was called How Much Longer. The 3 commercials were called Grave, Gurney, and Slap. They were the end result of tobacco. And, it's always dangerous when you put a campaign in the field, because we don't like scare tactics, but we really wanted to show the end results of tobacco. We had 10,000 more calls to the Ash Line the year we launched that campaign than the year previously.
I remember the campaign.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes a statement when you see a guy standing on the grass and all of a sudden it's like an elevator starts going down, or you see someone toe tagged. I mean, it's a scary proposition.
They were very successful campaigns. This year we went 180 degrees.
Yeah, you did.
We're gonna focus on the positive aspects. So I should mention that in addition to our sports coaches, we actually have actual coaches from the Ash Line who are talking about what they can do, the coaching that they provide, and how they can help you quit. And it's a very genuine campaign. The coaches come across as very inspirational. We've got some long form formats. I just watched Todd Graham's. He's got about a minute and a half segment where we're going to put on the website. And he talks about his own struggles with chew tobacco, and he grew up in Texas, and that was kind of a tradition. And he talks about how he'd struggled over the years. So when you see somebody who is at the top of the sports world and one of the top coaches in college football, talking about he struggles too. It really makes a connection with people.
It does.
So we're excited about this campaign.
And by quitting, you win. I love that whole message. We're getting ready to wrap up our second segment, and I want to make sure, we get your message out there. And the premise of our show is about older adults. Talk to me a little bit about, seniors and them being affected by smoking.
Yeah, we among seniors in Arizona, we people 55 and over, if I could use that, we're looking at a tobacco rate of about 15%. The good news is that we know that half of the people in that age group have tried to quit in the last year, unsuccessfly for many of them. And we know that the average smoker will try 10, 12 times to quit, perhaps unsuccessfully, have a lot of relapses. So to reach into that population, number one is you get immediate results. I mean, your listeners should know that if you quit tobacco use on January 1st, by January 2nd, your blood pressure is trending back towards normal, your sense of taste and smell is coming back. And by May, June, you've reduced the risk of lung disease by 50% already. So it's a very short-term benefit. So a lot of older people think, well, it's too late for me, what the heck. The other thing is
Good points.
The ash line. For your listeners that have tried to quit several times unsuccessfully, if they call the ash line, 1-800-556-6222, and enrolled in the ash line, then we know that the chances of quitting is multiplied by 13 times. And that's a huge difference for people. So I would encourage people to call if they haven't tried that yet.
I love the message, and I got to tell you, the other thing is you see health improvement, but then the other thing is that odor that usually is with somebody that accompanies them that are smokers. I mean, you can literally smell somebody when they walk in the room. And that's got to be a relief, too, for the loved ones and family members around them.
Well, it's not just the odor, too. It's the dangers of secondhand and what we even call third-hand smoke, what's in the drapes and the carpets and the clothes.
Right.
So in Arizona, roughly 700 Arizonans die a year from tobacco use that have never used tobacco themselves because they live with smokers.
700?
Yeah, the dangers, yeah. So secondhand smoke is the killer in itself.
Well,
so if you're not quitting for yourself, we ask the question of secondhand smoke. Who's inhaling your smoke?
Well, I can't thank you guys enough for being on the show here today. And I want to give out the number again, 1-800-55-66-222. And it's ashline.org. And really, it's an incredible campaign that you guys have come up with. I love the new twist. And the other one was very compelling. Trust me, the toe tagging and the elevator going down 6 feet was really compelling. But, I mean, to have and so many of our people in our community are sports fans, and to have those coaches not only tell you that it's cool to lose or quit and win, but also the fact that you have coaches on this helpline that are actually coaching them through it.
Right.
You know what? I've got a little less than a minute. Any final thoughts, any final questions, or any final things you would like to share?
Yeah, I think the main message here with our coaching campaign is we really want to get across. One of the biggest things is that this is an Arizona-based service that we have. So the Ash Line is made up of people who are here in Arizona. It's located in Tucson. It's not a national call center. So these are your friends. These are your fellow citizens of the state. And the biggest thing is that they're former smokers. They understand what you're going through.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you for being on Health Futures, taking stock on you. Wayne Tormala, the chief from the Arizona Department of Health Services, and I've got Chris Minnick. He's the marketing director from Arizona Department of Health Services. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Bob.
Stay tuned. In our third segment, I've got Cancer Support Community Arizona. I've got Jenny Quezada coming on board. We'll be right back.
As we reach the bottom of the hour, we pause for a look at the world's news. Then we're back with Money Talk. We're Money Radio 1510 AM and 105.3 FM.
Singer Ariana Grande has announced today that she'll perform at a benefit concert in Manchester, England for the victims and families of the 22 people who died during a terrorist attack after her show earlier this week. Grande did not announce when her tour will resume. The FBI had to deal with disinformation from Russia during last year's campaign. Correspondent Dana Bash.
The FBI Director James Comey, then FBI Director, knew that a critical piece of Russian information related to the Hillary Clinton email investigation was fake, but he felt that he needed to take action anyway because he was concerned that if the information became public, fake or not, it would undermine the investigation and the Justice Department itself.
Republican Greg Gianforte has won the special congressional election in Montana. Gianforte has also apologized for body slamming a reporter and is facing an assault charge. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average off more than 4 points. The S&P 500 down a fraction. The Nasdaq gaining 3. I'm Ann Cates.
Guys don't really talk about antiperspirant. Despite that, 91% of Dove Men Plus Care users recommend it. Here's what they said.
It blocks the, perspiration, I think is the fancy word.
It's comfortable. It smells nice. My girl likes the smell.
Well, it's hard.
I think it's quite masculine. My underarms aren't the worst thing at the gym.
It's kind of like the Hoover Dam from my armpits, I guess.
Dove Men Plus Care antiperspirant. Tough on sweat, not on skin.
You can't enjoy your outdoor living spaces when your home has unsightly green and black stains in need of cleaning. Why scrub when you can spray and forget? Spray and forget. The revolutionary no-rinse exterior cleaner eliminates stains from mold, mildew, algae, moss, and lichen. Spray and forget brilliantly cleans roofs, decks, siding, fencing, walkways, driveways, outdoor furniture, and more without pressure washing, brushing, or rinsing. Make your home and your outdoor living spaces brilliant again with Spray and Forget. Look for the yellow label.
5. You're listening to the only spot to find all the money talk you'll ever need. But you need to know that we're now at a new location on the FM dial. Tune to 105.3 and discover us there. Of course, we're still where we've always been, at 1510 on your AM radio.
Bill Gunderson's nationwide Best Stocks radio show is coming to Money Radio. Every morning between 9 and 10 a.m., professional money manager Bill Gunderson will talk about the economy, markets, and Best Stocks Now. Bill Gunderson is also the inventor of the Best Stocks Now app and the writer of the weekly Best Stocks Now newsletter. If you like to invest in the markets, this is the show for you. You will not want to miss one episode. Visit GundersonCapital.com for more info. That's GundersonCapital.com.
Hi, this is Ken from Online Trading Academy Phoenix. For a fresh take on the news and your money, check out The Right Side of the Trade, noon Thursdays and Saturdays on Money Radio 1510 AM and 105.3 FM. To understand how the markets really work, come to a free Online Trading Academy half-day class. When you come out, you'll also get a tablet with access to additional online courses at no charge. For free tickets, call 8448-INCOME. That's 844-846-2663 now.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I feed the birds and the bees. I love my flowers. The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. I love them. They're my savior. And I look forward to volunteers because they've all become my friends.
It's Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
If you're listening to this message, then that's a good sign. In fact, we're always interested in good signs. Good signs identify people and places. Good signs communicate important information. With our business, we not only encourage good signs, we create them. We're Croy Sign Systems. Our signs identify, direct, and inform so you can navigate through life faster and easier. And that's a really good Croy sign. Call Croy Sign Systems today at 480-619-6070 or visit us online at kroysigns.com.
Where will you be when the dust settles?
How do you feel, sir?
Dust storms are a year-round threat in Arizona. If you get caught in a dust storm, pull completely off the roadway. Turn your lights off, set your parking brake, keep your seatbelt on, and wait it out. It won't be long. Where will you be when the dust settles? That's up to you. Do the smart thing, do the safe thing. Pull aside, stay alive. Visit az511.gov for road conditions before leaving your house. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
It's GNC's lowest prices of the season sale now through June 7th on diet and test support, fish oil, and more. Change begins at GNC. Select products only. Season is March 30th to May 31st.
Hi, my name is Bob Roth, and I'm your host of Health Futures Taking Stock in You. Today is going to be a tribute show, and it's a great time for us to pay tribute to veterans, to work to protect our freedom and this great country, and a pretty busy studio here with lots of guests. So tune in. Health Futures, Money Radio, 1510 a.m.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress HomeCare Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. You're listening to Health Futures. I'm your host, Bob Roth. And if you're just tuning in, we're on our third segment. We had a really fun-filled, packed first two segments. If you missed them, you can catch them up on our website at cypresshomecare.com. We had the folks from the Arizona Department of Health Services, Bureau of Tobacco and Chronic Disease. We had the chief, Wayne Tormala, and we also had Chris Minnick, who's the marketing director for them. And we were talking about this great Quit to Win campaign, and it's basically a smoking cessation campaign to really get people to stop. And the Department of Health Services has run incredible commercials in the past, and my hat's off to them because this has got a little different twist, and it is with coaches that say it's good to lose. If you lose, then you're winning, and we want to get more people to quit smoking, especially with our older adults and seniors. So it makes natural sense that I pivot, and I introduced her at the top of the hour. I've got in the studio, I got Jenny Quezada. She's the Latino Program Director for Cancer Support Community Arizona. And I've also got Dan Lawler, the Executive Director from the Alzheimer's Association. And it really makes sense for me to pivot over to you because you have got programs and services to help those that are afflicted and affected by cancer. So I want to turn the mic over to you because what a great segue in talking about the success they're having, but lung cancer is a big deal.
Yes, well, first of all, thank you for having us. We appreciate being here, and you said it, right? I mean, sometimes somebody might be in the case of already being diagnosed with cancer, and Cancer Support Community Arizona is a home and an environment for them to receive services and programs really to help them create a community of support beyond their family, and actually family is also involved to partake in any of our services as well. Some of those being support groups, which is one of our pillars. We have, and again, this is anybody diagnosed from an early on stage through survivorship. So it doesn't have to be somebody who is just recently diagnosed. Perhaps they're already going through treatment,
right, and
really need a place of support. So we do offer support groups that are generic to different cancer types, but we also have a lung cancer support group. And that is a group that specifically meets for those lung cancer patients. And that is once a month. And so we do have a very robust, comprehensive program. So again, that supportive piece is one aspect. We do also have a healthy lifestyle pillar. And so that involves programs like yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, really that mind, body, meditative activities that are also vital, when a cancer
absolutely
is going through somebody's family, a life of somebody who they know. And then again, we do also have social programs that are a part of that comprehensive program that we provide.
They're all free.
Yes, everything is at no cost to anybody who attends.
And I want to make this appeal to our listening audience because not only do I want them to know about the services that you have, but your programs are all really, they're created through philanthropy, right? You rely on philanthropy to be able to do the things that you do.
You're 100% accurate. That's correct. We're a community supported by our community.
And, I want our listening audience to know how they can learn more about you guys. How did they do that?
If they'd like to learn more about Cancer Support Community Arizona, we do have, again, a phone number that they can call is 602-712-1006. We are also online at www.cscaz.org. And we are here in downtown Phoenix. So, again, we always invite anybody who is interested in learning more to attend a newcomer meeting to really get more of a history, the story behind who we are and how we became Cancer Support Community Arizona.
And where are you located in Phoenix?
We are a little north of McDowell on Palm Lane between 3rd and 7th Street. Our exact address is 360 East Palm Lane, and that's in Phoenix, Arizona, 85004.
And I'm out at your site. It's real easy to navigate and real easy to see. And you're right there in the central of Phoenix, which is great. I mean, people can find you. Are there different programs for different cancers? I mean, obviously there are lots of cancers out there. And you talked about the lung cancer, but I know that Susan B. Komen did a great job with breast cancer and breast cancer awareness, but we have many others that are going on.
We do, and we actually do try to accommodate, again, whatever, if there's a need in the community or a lack of specific cancer support groups, we try to fill those gaps, and also based off of our participants that are attending our community. So currently right now the specific cancer support groups that we offer on a regular basis are breast, carcinoid, lung, lymphoma, multiple myeloma, ovarian, pancreatic, and prostate cancer. And that's, separate from our weekly support groups, which are open to any type of cancers.
Nice. Now, and again, this organization relies on philanthropy, and if cancer is near and dear to your heart and you don't necessarily need the resources, but you would like to support them, they can reach you the same way. They can reach you at that phone number that you gave before, that's 602-712-1006.
That's correct.
Or go out to cscaz.org. Can they donate online too? Do you know that? I'm looking at online. Maybe they just call. Well, there it is. Get involved. Under the Get Involved, there is a donate tab, and there's also Arizona tax credit. So you're part of the Arizona tax credit program.
Absolutely. Now with the end of the year giving campaign, we are definitely a part of Giving Tuesday, which is coming up right after Thanksgiving. And so, if you haven't done that tax credit donation yet, we are definitely, again, consider giving back to Cancer Support Community Arizona.
Now, the phone number to reach you, is it 8 to 5 or is it 24/7?
It is 8 to 5.
Okay.
Say that, maybe somebody's busy past 5 o'clock. If you call and leave a voice message, we will return that phone call, the next business day. And we really do want to connect with anybody who's interested in becoming involved in any way. Again, if somebody's already a survivor or beyond that, or just interested in a community member that's interested in giving back and being a part of what we do have different, volunteer opportunities, and there's community events that we provide. In fact, if I can speak about this right now, we have Tribute Tree, which is coming up December 1st, and it is a community event, which is just a beautiful evening where we have some cookies and hot chocolate where, anybody that attends can make a tribute out of a clay heart to somebody that either has helped them along their cancer journey, or a nurse, somebody who's been part of that in their life. And we actually display those clay hearts, around a little fenced tree in front of the house of the facility. Yes, that's correct. And it's December 1st, again, open to the community, free event. It's a wonderful evening, and you're all invited to attend.
From 5 to 6:30,
yes.
Right there at 360 East Palm Lane. And the corridor is really McDowell and Central.
That's right.
And, I want to just leave this lasting comment, and you said it when you first got on, is the fact that you do have support group for survivors. And that's the hardest thing. When you lose a loved one, is what do you do afterwards? And you can open that up for how long after someone's lost somebody, for indefinitely or a year?
Absolutely. I mean, there's people process differently, and again, that Surviving and Thriving group, we have some that perhaps didn't know about us during, and then once they're surviving, but they still go through and process what has happened, and again, those future fears that somebody might encounter after going through cancer. So the Surviving and Thriving group is a fabulous group. We always overhear them laughing and having a good time. And again, it's just that sense of community that's created in that space through our participants, which are just incredible people.
And it's amazing how much support you get when you're navigating through this, when somebody else has been through has walked in your shoes, has been in your shoes. Jenny, we're getting ready to wind down the segment. I want to give you the microphone. Any final thoughts, any final things you would like to share?
Just again, I invite anybody who's interested in learning more about us to reach out at 712-1006. Or feel free, like I said, to stop by. We're an old historic home that's beautiful, and it's a great place. So come and check us out.
Definitely come out and check Cancer Support Community Arizona. They got the Tribute Tree Celebration, which is really just in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. It's Thursday, December 1st, 5 p.m. to 6:30, 360 East Palm Lane. You can call them at 602-712-1006 or cscaz.org. Jenny Quezada, thank you for being on the show. You're listening to Health Futures, Taking Stock in You. We will be right back.
Hi, I'm Johnny Dean.
And I'm Rick the Professor Plum.
Every day on Bucket Strategy Investing, we're talking about financial planning, investment decisions, and retirement strategies.
We focus on wealth education and the strategy designed for the needs you have today
and the goals you have for the future. Tune in to Bucket Strategy Investing.
And call in with questions.
Retirement strategies, taxes, Social Security, and more. That's what we're talking about on Bucket Strategy Investing.
Are you a business owner? Are you maximizing the internet and social media to grow your business? Then you need to check out Money Radio's premier technology show, Fast Turtles Digital Pros with Eric Olson and Graham Ware. These two digital wizards will educate and give you the latest information on all things digital, social media, SEO, PPC, and digital engagement. This is the future. Don't miss out and tune in Mondays at 1 and Saturdays at 8 for Fast Turtle Digital Pros exclusively on Money Radio 1510 AM and 105.3 FM.
Are you age 62 or older? Do you have at least 50% equity in your home? Have you been thinking about retirement but not quite sure where the money's coming from for your golden years? Join me Tuesdays at 4:35 with Rob Canyor of Fairway Independent Mortgage as we dispel the myths and talk about the many advantages of using a reverse mortgage as a retirement planning tool. Find out how to receive tax-free money, eliminate a monthly mortgage payment, and move forward with a reverse mortgage.
Arizona investment property experts are now your Mexico investment property experts. Join investment property experts for an informative Investing in Mexico real estate workshop. Learn about investing in Puerto Peñasco, Mexico, and how you can earn a net 15% annual return. IPX's crown jewel in Mexico is the Esmeralda Resort, located on Sandy Beach in Puerto Peñasco, Mexico. Puerto Peñasco is the popular beach getaway known as Rocky Point. Only 3.5 hours away from Phoenix, Arizona, this is the perfect investment and vacation opportunity for you. As an investor, you will not only earn 15%, but you will have access to numerous investment projects. Currently, we are offering Esmeralda investors discounted lots, houses, and condos that can be purchased and flipped. And best of all, everything is 100% turnkey. With the home port commencing construction this year and its planned completion in 2019, this project will be a big boost to the economy and investment real estate in Rocky Point. Learn more by attending an informative workshop. Call 602-254-6244 or visit ArizonaInvestmentPropertyExperts.com.
Your Arizona Rattlers host the Nebraska Danger this Sunday at 3 p.m. Catch all the action right here on Money Radio 1510 AM and 105.3 FM. Arizona Rattlers football this Sunday at 3 p.m.
Now back to Health Futures, taking stock in you. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call 602-264-8009. Now, here's your host, Cypress HomeCare Solutions, Bob Roth.
Welcome back. You're listening to Health Futures. I'm your host, Bob Roth, and we're on our fourth segment. We've had a pretty busy studio here with lots of guests. If you missed the first two segments, I had the Arizona Department of Health Services, the Bureau of Tobacco and Chronic Disease. I had their chief, Wayne Tormala, here in the studio, and I also had Chris Minnick. He's the marketing director. You can catch that. And our third segment, I had Jenny Quezada. She's the Latino Program Director for Cancer Support Community Arizona. You can catch all three of those segments and this segment right now that I'm about to do up on our website at cypresshomecare.com. So we're on our fourth segment, and I've got a return guest, and the most valuable guest of the day, because there is a really big event that's coming up tomorrow, and something that I'm very passionate about, and I know he's passionate about too. It's the Alzheimer's Association Memory Walk, and it's being held at Wesley Boland Plaza. And I know that I usually get down there really, really early, but I want to turn the mic over to Dan Lawler. He's the executive director for the Southwest chapter, or Desert Southwest chapter. Welcome to the show, Dan.
Well, thanks for having me back, Bob. It's a wonderful opportunity. It's a crazy day today as we prepare for the walk tomorrow.
Prepare for the walk and celebrate our veterans. We got a lot of stuff going on.
Things are going on, and it's great to have the opportunity to come on here today and encourage and invite everybody to come out and join us tomorrow morning downtown at, as you say, Wesley Boland Plaza. The Walk to End Alzheimer's is the largest event of its kind, really bringing together the community to show their support for each other, and their commitment to fight against Alzheimer's disease. You know, as we've talked during the commercial break about it, you know, we've really seen a lot of growth and support from the community. There will be about 10,000 people out there tomorrow.
Wow!
It is. It's an impressive
Gives me
thing
chills.
to see. It really does. It's sad to see how Alzheimer's affects so many people, but it is very heartening that people are there and they're committed to fight. They're committed to care. They're committed to do something about this disease. And so it's a great opportunity for people to come out. We encourage people to bring their families, bring their loved ones. Check-in registration starts at 7:30. We'll start the program at 9 o'clock, and the walk itself, a little 3-mile walk, will start at 9:30.
And I will tell you, Dan's saying 7:30. You really need to get down there early because 10,000 people is a lot of people to descend on the area. But because it's at Wesley Boland Plaza, there is enough parking. There's enough room. The place could handle 20,000 people. So let's surprise the Alzheimer's Association and let's double it and get a lot more people down there. The weather's ideal. I'm sure it's going to be 79, 80 degrees that day. Probably early in the morning. It'll probably be in the low to mid 60s. It'll be a great day to bring your dog, bring your pets, bring your kids, bring your family, bring your friends.
It is a great day. I think the weather's going to be perfect, but I think to hit on what you say, it truly is a family-friendly event. You know, Alzheimer's disease is a disease that affects the entire family, not just the individual who is affected or diagnosed with the disease, but it's all the caregivers, all the loved ones, all the family. And so we really want to bring the family together. And they're going to come down. We have a lot of great partners there. We'll see Chick-fil-A there. We'll see Mi Nana's Chips will be there. Neater's Bakery will be there. So we're going to have a lot of wonderful community partners. And I'd also like to say that we're going to have a lot of wonderful information about services, senior services, supportive services for families there that people can take time to learn about, get information about. I think it's just a great event all around.
Because I'm not as connected to this event, I'm only connected as a participant these days. I used to be a volunteer, and I co-chaired it back in the mid-early 2000s. So it was like 2004 to 2008 I co-chaired the event. I was responsible, I don't know if you knew it or not, bringing Ron Alosi and his band. Is he going to be there again?
He will be there.
I'm going to tell you, the band and the music rocks. I mean, we're talking about music from my era. You know, we're talking about the 1970s and 80s rock and roll band. And the one lasting impression that Ron brought to me, first of all, he is amazing, brings his whole band. He does this for free, and he does it every single year. I'll never forget, after the walk was done, he brought this whole family up. And there's a picture somewhere, and it was like 5 generations, and there was a little baby there, and there was an older adult in their like early 90s. He brought them all up on stage, and they were all dancing with him, and it was so moving because, as you said, it is such a family event and for a great cause.
It really is, and I think the Ron Alosi Band really drives home a point that I see time and time again, that people are touched by this disease, and those who are really committed to it. And Ron is a perfect example of that, and really wants to, bring people together and bring that joy into people's lives. He does a great job of it. So I'm looking forward to him and his band being out there again tomorrow.
Well, I want to give to our listening audience how they can learn more about it. So I know that alz.org is the main site you go to, and then there's a tab there to find a walk, right?
Correct.
So go ahead.
They can go that way. They can obviously call our offices, 1-800 232-3900, and they can also go online with the shortcut of phoenixalzheimerswalk.org.
I like shortcuts.
Yeah, so if you put in phoenixalzheimerswalk.org.
So you spelled Alzheimer's, right?
Correct.
PhoenixAlzheimersWalk.org. And you know what? It's not too late to sign up.
No.
Please, sign up. And even if you don't sign up, you can sign up there. They have volunteers there to set it up. And if you want a beautiful day for a beautiful cause, I'd like to see what Susan B. Komen has done for breast cancer, for the Alzheimer's Walk to do for Alzheimer's. I'd like to leave with just a couple tidbits, if you would, about, and I know my audience loves it and I love it too, is some statistical data so that our people can get their arms around what we're talking about with this disease. How many people are diagnosed, and what's going on with it.
True. Alzheimer's disease truly is an epidemic. There's more than 5 million Americans who are diagnosed currently, and every 66 seconds, a new individual is diagnosed with Alzheimer's. It is nationwide. It is the 5th leading cause of death here in Arizona. It is the 4th leading cause of death. So it truly is impacted here in the community. And the other thing I really want to bring forth is I know we talked a lot about cancer and smoking cessation. From the National Institute of Health, if you take the top 10 diseases that are terminal in this country, all the different forms of cancer, heart disease, things like that, the other 9 outside of Alzheimer's are all on the decline in terms of people getting them. Alzheimer's is the only one where prevalence is increasing. And so it truly is, it's that hidden, insidious epidemic that is truly ravaging this country.
Yeah, and you called it an epidemic, and I had Dr. Pierre Theriault refer to it as pandemic. And, we got a chance to listen to those Arizona Department of Health Services people talk about the progress they've made with lung cancer and keeping, smokers down, the numbers, and he wants to be in the single digit. We got to find a cure, and there's no better way than finding a cure by getting out and being active. Getting connected to the Alzheimer's Association and really supporting this great cause.
Get out, be involved, raise your voice, and show that this community is committed to doing something about this disease.
So some final thoughts you want to leave with our listening audience on Alzheimer's, the walk, and...
the walk is it is our largest single fundraiser, much like the Arizona Cancer Society that was here, that we have a number of programs and services. If people are listening and they're affected by or worried about their loved one, especially going into the holiday season, and they need some support, give us a call. We're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And all the services we offer, from having social workers or information and referral to education, all free of charge.
They have some incredible support groups here. They've got case workers that are there to answer your phone calls and to help you navigate to some solutions.
That's right.
And that's what we need. We all need that. Well, remember the Alzheimer's Walk tomorrow, Wesley Bowen Plaza. Dan, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, Bob.
Make it a great day. Have a great weekend. Happy Veterans Day. My hat's off to those people that fight for our freedom and have fought for our freedom. Make it a great day.
Thank you.
There's no place like home. You've been listening to Bob Roth's Health Futures. If you have questions about your own or your loved one's future health care, call Cypress HomeCare Solutions at 602-264-8009. That's 602-264-8009. Or visit CypressHomeCare.com. Be sure to join Health Futures with Bob Roth every Friday at noon.
Hi, this is Ken Morgan.
This is Mark Asher.
Hey, Mark, I was looking at this script for this promo we're about to record, and it's something about you being Man of the Year, maybe, and I was going to make fun of you, but this is a good thing you're doing here.
Well, Ken, I appreciate you not making fun of me. I am a candidate for the Leukemia Lymphoma Society Man of the Year. From now until June 10th, I'll be raising as much money as I possibly can, and you can help donate. Go to moneyradio1510.com, click on the icon, and donate today.
Money Radio 1510
and 105.3 FM.
Is KFNN Mesa Phoenix and K287BX Mesa. How are things in your financial portfolio looking right now? Well, keep listening to Money Radio because they could be looking up. The Dow, 8 points down right now, 21,074. The S&P flat, 2415. NASDAQ is up 3 at 6208.
When people want to talk about money, this is the place they come to. And there's more on the way after this break for the latest news. And we begin